guys, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Unicorn with a pen. So a couple things. Number one, Unicorn auditioned for Big Brother 17. Good luck! I hope you make it on the show, that'd be awesome. And Unicorn wants to know if I could pick one person to come back from seasons 8 through 16 for All-Stars, who would it be? I am gonna go purely entertainment here, and I'm gonna say Will Heuser. Oh my god! I'd love to watch him on the feeds again. He's a dream. But he was really bad at the game. But like I said, purely for entertainment reasons. Okay, so let's just jump right into this. Did you guys know that Cindy came back? I talked about it yesterday, but just in case you missed it, Cindy came back. So she's back in the game. And she quickly formed an alliance with Sarah and Brittany. It's called the SSB Alliance. SSB, like a ship. Like SSB. Sarah, Cindy, Brittany. Yeah. Alright, so their target is Zach because he's playing everyone. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So Cindy and Sarah were talking one-on-one, and Cindy was telling her a bit about Sequester and how she has like all this info now, and Sarah was just like, So Cindy tells her, yeah, Neha was like, you better go in there and trust Sarah. So she's got that going for her, and Cindy told her later on in the day about the Chop Shop Alliance, which I don't know how anyone in the house doesn't know about it, but now Sarah knows. So she was pretty wowed when she heard that. I just made up a new word. Yeah. But she was kind of freaking out about that. She was like, wow, it all makes sense now. So Zach and Ashley were chatting in the HOH room, and Zach is still trying to justify potentially not using the power veto this week. And he's like, yeah, I gotta look out for myself, and it wouldn't really help me to get rid of Bruno or Bobby because they're not coming after me. And they're going after Kevin, and what has Kevin really done for me? Why am I gonna make this move for him? And the golden reason, it's too early. It's too early to do this. It's really not. But I gotta say, little aside here, I feel like one of the worst things you can do strategically in this game is to start executing a move and then to not actually go through with it. That is awful because you have all these people in on what was supposed to happen. They have this knowledge. What's going to stop them from turning around and telling that person? So it's like you didn't have that target, but then you did, and now you definitely do, and then it's just, I feel like that's really dumb. So yeah, I think Zach was really messing up here. And to top it all off, by not going through with this plan to backdoor Bruno, he will be leaving his main, or supposedly main ally, in danger. That is really dumb. Even if he's safe, that's not going to be good. He's going to be so pissed about that. So Godfrey was strategizing with Kevin, and Godfrey's just like, yeah, man, we're both out of the loop. We need to do something about this. So Godfrey proposes this alliance of the two of them, plus Zach and JP, and then Ashley and Pilar on the side to like give them 2 more votes. Sounds a lot like the Diaper Alliance plus Godfrey. So it kind of already exists, minus the Godfrey part. But Godfrey's like, yeah, we're all evenly matched, so we won't be intimidated by each other. It's like the perfect alliance. I don't see that. But Kevin is like, yeah, sounds good. I'll talk to JP about it. So Godfrey is like really trying to make moves right now. This is the hardest I've seen him work the whole time. I mean, he does really sleep a lot. But anyway, Bruno and Bobby were chatting, and Bruno has like these flashes of brilliance, and then he does things like this, and I'm just like, what are you doing? So Bruno seems really concerned about the whole guys versus girls thing. He wants to make sure that the guys are not on the wrong side of the balance. He wants to make sure that the girls are not gonna like group together and take out the guys. But you know what? When you've got people like Ashley and Peely and Willow, it's not going to happen because they are going to stick with the guys over the girls. It's just not going to happen. But he doesn't see that. So he wants his group to go up to Zach and tell him, look, you should backdoor Sarah this week. We'll vote her out. Why? You should be working with Sarah to take out the diapers. He doesn't see that. So Godfrey is getting really desperate at this point. He was talking with Jordan and Zach, and he started to turn on his own crew. And it's not good. So he starts throwing Bobby under the bus. He's like, Zach, you should use the veto this week, even if it's on JP, and like put up Bobby in his place because Bobby's a big threat, and he probably will go after you at some point in the game, and he's super close with Bruno, super close with Brono. So you should definitely go after Bobby, and they're just like, oh, taking notes. So he also says like, whoa, why should we go after Sarah? We can beat her in competitions. Don't worry about her, which is funny because he was just campaigning for Sarah to go up not that long ago. So then Zach takes this information, he takes his notes, and he goes to Bruno and he's like, guess what, bruh? Godfrey just told me to nominate either you or Bobby. What? So Bruno was like pretty shocked when he heard this. He was just like, are you serious? Like, is this for real? And Zach was just like, yeah, bruh, it's for real. So Bruno is trying to still push the Sarah thing. He's like, oh man, Sarah must have gotten to Godfrey, like she's poison. He's really trying to paint Sarah to be like this Grima worm tongue of the house, and she's like able to sway all these people. So he's really pushing for Sarah to go up. He's like, yeah, Sarah's coming after the guys, like we need to get rid of her. And Zach's just like, we'll see. So let's talk about Jordan for a minute. He's getting pretty desperate too. He's getting nervous because he was not planning on still being up on the block after the veto. So what's that? Jordan needs to maybe secure some votes just in case. Oh yeah, it's time for him to make out with Cindy again. My oh my, how the tables have turned. Remember the week that Cindy was evicted? Yeah. So in other news, Bobby was cuddling with Brittany last night, and they were like holding hands and stuff, and it was really weird because those two are like enemies, so I guess they're sleeping or cuddling with the enemy. Okay, so last night, Sarah was having another strategy chat with herself, talking out loud in the backyard, and she was like, oh man, I'm so glad that Cindy is back, like this really is like a godsend, and it was awesome how she told her about the chop shop because now she knows that she cannot trust Willow or Ashley. They are dead to her. So she's really happy about that. And her plan, according to what she said to herself, is to work with Brittany, Cindy, Kevin, Pilar, and Jordan to take out the remaining members of the chop shop. I don't know if that's going to happen or if she's even going to want to go through with that plan after what's coming up, but we'll see. So then Jordan comes outside, they start talking by the hot tub. She tells him, like, hey, guess what I found out from Cindy? There's this 5-person alliance called the Chop Shop. And of course, Jordan knows about it, but he's just like, oh, what? Are you serious? That's crazy. So then Jordan is kind of, I talked about this yesterday. It's hard to tell if Jordan is actually upset with Zach or if he's just pretending to be upset with Zach. Honestly, I think it's a little bit of both, because he does seem really hurt that Zach is not planning on using the veto on him. But he was telling Sarah, like, maybe this was Zach's plan all along and he's just playing me. I don't know what the deal is with that. But they're both glad that Cindy is back for one reason or another. So this morning, Bruno was talking to Bobby, and he had to break the bad news. He was like, Bobby, Godfrey was throwing us under the bus last night. He was telling Zach to put us up on the block, and Bobby's just like, it's time to chop. So yeah, after hearing that, he is so ready to get rid of Godfrey. They're not even going to ask Godfrey, like, did you tell Zach to put us up? They're just like, Godfrey's going. What? But Bobby's like, no, it's all good, because, like, we can still do the pentacut plan. We only need 10 people. Oh my god. Give it up with the pentacut plan! Alright, so SSB Alliance had a little chat today, and Cindy brought up something very interesting. She was like, hey, Jordan's safe this week, right? And they're just like, yeah, it's all good. But then Cindy's like, what if we vote against JP to create some paranoia? Go, girl, go! So she's not even talking about voting him out at this point because she doesn't think they'll be able to get the votes yet. But she's just talking about putting those votes out there to kind of freak people out. Maybe they'll think that Bruno and Bobby and somebody else did this. But then Sarah and Brittany are like, it would create paranoia, but in a bad way, because everyone is going to know that it's them. It's going to be really difficult to cover that up. So I'm just like, what? Man, that sucks. But don't worry. It's going to get really interesting. So Sarah and Brittany are chatting, and Sarah's like, you know what? I think JP could be lying about this whole thing. I think maybe he did know that he was going to stay up on the block because he obviously threw the POV competition. And why would you do that if you were planning on coming off the block? So Sarah also made it a point to talk to Brittany about how she is donezo with Willow. It's like at that point where everything that Willow does annoys Sarah. So you just know it's over. So today was like a dream come true for Bobby because there was a Chop Shop meeting. I think this is the first time that this has happened since like they formed the alliance. So Bobby, Bruno, Willow, Zach, and Ashley were all talking together. And Bruno's like, guess what, guys? I saw Sarah and JP talking last night. We need to get rid of Sarah. So he's still trying to push for the whole get rid of Sarah thing. And they're like, all right, next week we're going to go after either Sarah, Cindy, or Brittany. Great meeting, guys. Great meeting. Okay. Looks like Kevin is no longer on the radar. Good for you, Kevin. So Jordan and Sarah had another one-on-one today. And this time, Jordan was like, Sarah, I'm sorry, but I lied about not knowing about the Chop Shop. Really? She couldn't tell. She could. But he was like, yeah, I knew about it. So he opens up about that. But he makes it very clear, like, I did not volunteer to go up on the block thinking that I was still going to be on the block. So that was not the original plan. Don't get that part twisted. So she's just like, all right, very interesting. I'll have to think about that. So the power veto ceremony was today. And Zach did not use the power veto, which means that Jordan and Godfrey are still up on the block, and things are getting crazy because things are getting crazy. I will say, it looks like there is finally some chatter about possibly flipping the script and getting rid of Jordan this week. I'm going to be talking about that more tomorrow. I want to make sure I can really go into details about that. So there's some exciting stuff coming up. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Who do you want to go home? I would love to see Jordan go home just because it would be exciting and crazy. And why would you volunteer to be a pawn? All right. So until tomorrow, much love.